You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Election day is finally here. Polls open in exactly 2 hours. We'll have a live guest and a look at the record number of women running for Congress.
Plus, it appears there may be a shift in the relationship between the U.S. and North Korea. What North Korea plans on doing if the U.S. doesn't ease sanctions.
And an unusual fundraiser to raise money for grieving parents. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, folks. We are finally to Election Day after quite a bit of talk, I would say.
Yeah, I can't wait. No more political ads, no more flyers in your mailbox.
Oh, I've gotten text messages. You too?
Yep, gotten text messages. You've just been bombarded by political ads.
Let's get to the Election Day forecast now from meteorologist John Scalzi.
I'm just hoping we don't get any more of those 8 o'clock at night calls. That's what I don't want to hear. So we're looking at some pretty quiet conditions across the state right now. I don't think there'll be any reason whatsoever, weather-wise anyway, why you can't make it to the polls today, unless you've already voted, because everything looks really beautiful. Locally, I don't think we'll see much in the way of any kind of rainfall for another couple of days anyway. We have warm temperatures. They'll be kind of muggy in the afternoon, but they will probably be mostly sunny. So we'll look for 71 in Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, 69 degrees in Sarasota, 53 in Venice, 54 in Inglewood. A little bit of cloud cover mixed with some sunshine. I think we'll boost our temperatures pretty rapidly into the 80s, and we'll top it out today at about 87 degrees for a daytime high. We'll go with 86 at about 3 p.m. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Let's talk about traffic right now. First alert traffic showing all clear so far in Manatee County. Checking farther south, here's the northern half of Sarasota County. A little bit of congestion right now on 301 northbound as you cross through Newtown on the way toward University Parkway. Otherwise, all clear. And our final map to the south will show all clear at 5:02 on your Tuesday morning.
We finally made it to Election Day for the midterms. Thousands across the Suncoast have already cast their ballots in early voting, which ended over the weekend.
Yeah, the latest numbers show Democrats have inched ahead on the final day of early voting in Florida. Marla Spence has a preview now of Election Day. She's live at a Sarasota precinct. Marla, good morning.
Hey, Ray and Jess, after a few weeks of early voting, elections offices on the Suncoast have seen a record-breaking number of voters who showed out to cast their ballots. Now more than 136,000 out of 318,000 registered voters in Sarasota County cast their ballots during early voting. Now that's a turnout of close to 43%. In Manatee County. Out of 245,000 registered voters, 98,000 voted early or through vote-by-mail ballots. Now both voter turnouts in Manatee and Sarasota counties are high compared to some past elections. Numbers aren't only high here on the Suncoast, but also across the country. Now, so far, there are 30 million Americans who have voted in the midterms for early voting. That's more than the 19 million who voted early during the 2014 midterms.
We've had more vote-by-mail ballots in this election mailed than we did in the last presidential election. Early voting has exceeded this gubernatorial election from 4 years ago. In 2014, in this election, we had 30,000 early voters. So we're definitely breaking records. This isn't a typical midterm election. There's a lot of interest because of the races on the ballot, the questions, and just I think there's a great focus from voters right now that want to make their voices heard at the ballot box.
And if you did not vote early for the midterm elections, you still have, you can still go to the ballot box and do so today, starting at 7 o'clock this morning. Polls will be closing at 7 o'clock this evening. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you exactly what you need to bring to your precinct to make your vote heard. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you, Marla. The FBI says it is ready for potential threats during the elections. The Bureau will convene a war room at its headquarters in Washington. The goal is to make sure that any violations or security threats are appropriately handled. A special election crimes coordinator will also be dispatched to each of the 56 field offices across the country. Their job will be to respond to complaints about election issues while the polls are still open. Happening today, some students nationwide plan an Election Day walkout. The move is a publicity stunt to actually encourage young voters to head to the polls. More than 25 youth-led activist groups are involved, including March for Our Lives, which formed from the Parkland School massacre. There have been similar nationwide school walkouts in the past to protest gun violence.
Many are calling the 2018 the year of the women. Excuse me one second. And Manatee County Area Transit is offering free bus service today for elections. The offer includes the MCAT Route 99 buses that travel into Sarasota County. Handy Bus clients can ride free if traveling to or from a designated polling location. Uber and Lyft are also offering free and discounted rides to polling places as well. Many are calling 2018 the year of the woman, not just because of the record number of women running for office, but also for the surge of activism. ABC's Maggie Ruley takes a closer look.
In a year where women fought to have their voices heard, vote no to Kavanaugh. Women are now fighting to reshape the political landscape.
There's not a lot of women of color, and I just think it's time for us to change that.
Since 2016, women have run and won in record numbers.
Are you ready?
And this Tuesday, 278 women will have their names on the ballot. Women like Uba Gretchen Shirley, a self-proclaimed mom first.
I'm running for office because of them.
Brutally honest.
I'm tired.
She's also reformed how parents run for office, petitioning and winning an appeal to be able to use campaign funds for childcare. Or Maria Elvira Salazar, a former news anchor running as a Republican to represent South Florida. Of the 64 women of color who have served in Congress to date, only 4 of them have been Republican.
We want to have a seat at the table within the Republican Party.
And Stacey Abrams, running in Georgia to become the first woman of color elected governor of any state.
I think that would be very, very special considering being in the South and being in a place with the history that we have.
But who gets elected could depend on who votes.
So if women come out in force, it could swing the entire election.
Republicans are fighting for suburban women, hoping this recent ad from the president will win them over.
Women in both parties are more likely to say that they disapprove of this president by double digits.
And Democrats are hoping to snag back those crucial votes.
It is very difficult in this state at this point in time to cast a ballot for a Republican candidate.
Women appear to be the group with the most power to shape the next Congress. But how many vote and who they'll vote for is still anyone's guess. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
On to other news now. A memorial was held last night for a Bradenton chiropractor who was killed in a helicopter accident last week in Sebring. Chris Bruger was a passenger. His pilot was also killed in the crash. Hundreds of people packed the Woodland Community Church in Bradenton. Family, friends, and colleagues shared stories about Chris.
It's one of the worst days of my life. I feel horrible for their family. He was a good soul.
He was a mild person, soft-spoken, really a nice guy to know.
There he is. Chris leaves behind a wife and 2 daughters. He was just 52 years old.
A nonprofit organization is hosting a fundraiser at the Mandeville Beer Garden this Sunday to raise money for grieving parents. Waves of Hope sent its first 7 people on all expenses paid retreat to Costa Rica at the beginning of the year. The purpose of the trip is to help them heal after losing a child. Now the nonprofit is expanding and hoping to send even more parents on the retreat again. The founder says she started the nonprofit after losing 2 of her loved ones to suicide.
I think none of us get out of this life without hurting or suffering or loss or pain. And I just found myself constantly crying, and I had to channel this hurt somewhere. And I knew that by healing others, I would eventually heal myself.
19-year-old son of one woman who went on the retreat was murdered 12 years ago. She says the retreat was unlike anything she's ever experienced.
This week you can help feed the hungry and enjoy a hot meal at the same time. There are 2 luncheons later on this week in Manatee County hosted by Meals on Wheels and the Food Bank of Manatee County. This is some file video from a previous year. So Thursday is at the Renaissance on 9th in downtown Bradenton, and then there's one Friday on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch. 2 different luncheons. Both start at 11 a.m. and ticket prices start at $30. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, North Korea issues a nuclear threat if the White House doesn't lift economic sanctions.
And coming up a little later in the hour, we'll continue Election Day coverage. Coming up at 5:30, Supervisor of Elections Ron Turner will be here with us for an exclusive interview.
It is 5:09 on this Tuesday Election Day. Look at that shot. Look at your TV sets right now. Beautiful shot there. It looks like it's computer generated. Let's get the drive time forecast. John, the polls open in less than 2 hours now, my friend.
Yes, they do indeed. The day we've been waiting for. We're looking at quiet conditions drive-wise anyway. No issues whatsoever with any of the inclement weather boxes. They all remain unchecked. We'll look for mid-70s with just perhaps an isolated sprinkle possible, but most likely not. And low 80s on the way home. Humid conditions. Cooper in central Sarasota has 70 degrees and Richard in Northport 67. We'll be right back with your forecast.
Be a Heart Walk hero. I'm Scott Dennis. Join ABC7 and the American Heart Association for the 2018 Suncoast Heart Walk. It's Saturday, November 10th at J.D. Hamill Park. Walk with us to help raise funds to fight heart disease and stroke. Your support will help us advance life-saving breakthroughs that will keep more hearts beating. We can't save lives without your help. Register for free and walk with us to have fun and help hearts. For more information, visit suncoastheartwalk.org.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Introducing the ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker. This all-new mobile weather lab is just one more way. The team you trust is keeping you ahead of the storms. The ABC7 First Alert Weather Tracker, sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC7 News at 4. ABC7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your First Alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC7. Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 69-degree air temperature with a dew point to match at 69. So we have 100% relative humidity. And an astute weather watcher may look at that dew point value of 69 and say, hey, that's a lower dew point than 24 hours ago by about 3 degrees. So maybe we got some drier air coming in? No. That dew point value will raise back up into the 70s before too terribly long this morning. And as we head into the afternoon, it'll certainly be another sticky one. We're looking for daytime highs that top out. Well, the high will probably be around 87 or so, but I'll put the 3 p.m. temperature at about 86. And then we'll gradually drift down back into the upper 60s by the time we get to tomorrow morning. Radar is quiet. Nothing here that causes us any concern. Your morning commute should be A-OK. We've got one little blip just off the southern tip of Pinellas County here. You know, would I be shocked to see an isolated 5-second sprinkle pop up? No, but I'm not really looking at any rainfall today or for the next several days. Actually, we stay pretty much on the dry side. To the north of us, there is some activity up here. This is all part of that stalled frontal boundary. The same one that came through last Friday and then stalled down to our south, then returned north as a warm front on Sunday. Now stuck just to the north of us where it's in the process of washing away. We've got another front, well, we've got several fronts actually on the maps right now. We have one front kind of winding up here in the center part of the country, producing some very heavy weather in parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, back into the Virginias, West Virginia, Virginia itself, and then eventually into the Carolinas as the system progresses toward the east. There could even be a bout of severe weather today along the mid-Atlantic coastline, so we'll certainly be watching for that. That low pressure area is really wound up and will continue to lift off to the north and to the east later today. Plus a secondary front sinks southward. And you may think that this front is going to make it into Florida, but it doesn't. It stalls out just on the northern border. And from there, you're really not going to see much of a sink southward. We do have some cooler weather coming, but we'll have to wait until the weekend until another little push back to the north eventually makes its way in here and reduces our temperature a tad. Mostly sunny, warm and humid, and then a little cooler this weekend. But next week, I think we have a chance of seeing some much cooler weather work its way in. And then looking way down the road, you know, further than I usually like to look because errors are large this far away. But perhaps a day or two before Thanksgiving, a significant blast of cooler air comes our way. And even next week, the little bit of cooler air that we're probably going to get here by midweek might be the kind of weather, we'll call it fire pit weather, right? That kind of thing. So that looks pretty good. For the rest of the next couple of days, though, still in the warm, humid, muggy south wind. And that continues to bring us the mix of sun and clouds, the muggy afternoon air, and isolated showers, mostly in Gulf waters. If you look at the severe thunderstorm chances today, it's really in the mid-Atlantic. The Delmarva, particularly, kind of a bullseye for later afternoon showers and thunderstorms. For us, I think we'll probably be seeing more of the same today. Southeast wind switching to the west in the afternoon with a bit of a sea breeze building, coming in at about 5 knots. Pretty light stuff. 2-foot seas, light chop on bay and inland waters. And the 7-day forecast looks like this. We'll have 87 for our daytime high today. Tomorrow, 88, even warmer and a little bit more muggy. Muggier still on Thursday and Friday as another front kind of approaches. It sinks south, actually, and draws in some slightly cooler air by Saturday. It stays south and brings us some unsettled weather for both Sunday and Monday, but at least the temperatures are down a tad. Back to you.
Taking a look at first alert traffic now, we begin in Manatee County. There are no major issues to report at this hour as we head further south into Sarasota County. Appears that no one's rushing to the polls yet this morning because they don't open until 7 o'clock. Things are running smoothly in Sarasota County as well. And as we head even further south to southern Sarasota County, it's all clear at 5:18 on your election day.
Well, here we go again. North Korea is once again warning the U.S. unless the White House eases economic sanctions. Reporter John Lawrence has the latest.
A very specific threat from a North Korean official has analysts worried. The threat came with a clear call for the U.S. to ease its sanctions against North Korea. If not, the country may resume building up nuclear forces, said a North Korean foreign ministry official on state television.
It does reflect their position. It also reflects the stance that they have, that they don't want to give up much.
This warning comes days before Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has scheduled a sit-down with his North Korean counterpart in New York.
North Korea always, before a meeting, tries to gain leverage by perhaps issuing threatening language or insinuating a threat. You know, that said, we don't want to just dismiss it as negotiating rhetoric.
Analysts say North Korea could once again work on long-range missiles that may be able to reach the U.S.
If they do test, everything will come to a halt and we're really back to where we were a year ago.
That's back to when there were talks about a possible U.S. missile strike against North Korea if Pyongyang didn't tone down its behavior. Another factor in this potential situation, Tuesday's midterm elections. Experts say North Korea is paying close attention.
They want to see how much the incumbent in the White House, does he have support? I think they're looking for whether President Trump gets weakened or not.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Amazon reportedly has chosen not one, but 2 cities for its second headquarters.
And next half hour, we'll have a live interview with the Sarasota County Elections Supervisor. And speaking of Election Day, let's take a live shot now of Capitol Hill, where the entire House of Representatives is up for election today, and a third of the Senate is up for election as well.
They are expecting some storms today, so voters who are getting out to the polls should be aware of that. We'll be right back with more news and your forecast after the break.
You like to pay less. That's why you made Honda Accord the best-selling midsize car in America. Get the redesigned Accord, the North American Car of the Year, or Civic, a KBP.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Like SUVs and trucks? Get Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, CRV, the 8-passenger Pilot, or Ridgeline truck for up to $4,240 less today at your local Honda dealer.
WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android. Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
A lot of these campaigns have really the old-fashioned get out the vote, door-to-door campaigning, and that works. That does get people out. We might see a little bit of a bump.
The midterm elections are finally here. We have had debates, discussed the polls. What can we expect? I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have up-to-the-minute results at the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I'm a Florida voter.
I want to make sure my voice is heard.
Here in Florida,
we have 3 ways to vote.
Vote by mail.
Early voting.
And voting at the polls on Election Day.
Make sure your voice is heard.
I'm Secretary of State Ken Detzner. Get ready, get set, vote.
Taking a live look outside now on your election day. A beautiful shot of the city of Sarasota there, waiting for the sun to rise.
Yes, and the election day resumes at 7 a.m. Many of you voted already. Today is the final day, of course. We'll have full team coverage tonight after the polls close at 7 p.m.
We all know why the chicken crossed the road, but what about the salmon? Well, for these fish in Washington state, it was to give birth. That's according to the woman who filmed it. Alexis Leonard, a fish hatchery specialist, spotted over a dozen salmon swimming across Highway 101 on Saturday. The roadway was flooded at the time, which made the trek much easier for the mothers to be. According to Leonard, this isn't an unusual sight in Washington, but it sure makes for great video.
Little speedboats there.
Can't believe they're crossing the road like that. New details in Amazon's search for a city to house its second headquarters. Multiple reports say the online retail giant is finally finalizing plans to split it up between 2 cities.
Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a split decision from Amazon.
The company has reportedly chosen 2 locations for its second headquarters. The New York Times says one is in Queens, New York. The other is in Crystal City, Virginia.
Each location will house about 25,000 employees. And 7-Eleven is testing the cashier-less trend. The company is trying out a mobile app at a store in Dallas.
It lets customers scan and pay for items without a cashier. 7-Eleven says it could expand the idea to other cities. Sam's Club and Amazon Go already have cashierless stores. Facebook is opening pop-up shops at 9 different Macy's locations nationwide.
Yeah, the company says the stores will include some of the most popular brands on its platforms. What brands are those that Facebook has? Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I have PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Is your house ready for the holidays? Or has it been a while since your last cleaning? There's still plenty of time. Save now with our $99 holiday special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Give joy, get joy at Kohl's with an extra 15% off. Save on new bedding, plush towels just $7.64, and a new crock pot. Plus, take an extra $10 off your $50 or more home purchase. You'll get Kohl's cash too. Give joy, get joy at Kohl's.
Enjoy fine wine and great foods, all while supporting a great cause. It's the 17th annual Suncoast Food and Wine Fest, happening Saturday, November 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample great food from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds go to local charities and Rotary projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
I'll be right back.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
The day we've all been waiting for is finally here, Election Day, and this morning we'll tell you what you need to do before you head to the polls.
Plus, we'll show you how a local yoga studio is responding to the tragic shooting in Tallahassee last weekend.
And free parking in downtown Sarasota will soon be a thing of the past. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's Election Day. If you haven't heard already, I'm Jess Daldrick.
I heard that somewhere along the way. I think John Scalzi told me. Let's get to him right now. Here's the forecast from our meteorologist.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, here's the good news, is it doesn't look like there'll be many places in the country where weather will be an issue for voting, except a few. Certainly not the state of Florida. Suncoast looks good. We're quiet right now in terms of any kind of radar echoes, and that's the way it's probably going to be right straight through the day today and for the next several days, in fact. Radar, as I mentioned, extending all the way into inland areas, sees only a blip of a passing shower in Highlands County, so far away from us. Temperatures are generally in the near 70-degree range, a little above, a little below, but depending on where you are. Sarasota at 69, Bradenton at 70, 74 degrees in Inglewood, 73 in Venice. A little bit of cloud cover. Yes, we'll be beating back the clouds throughout the day today. We have activity out in Gulf waters, and some of that cloud cover kind of streams across our region, but it's really not rain-producing clouds. So as we progress through the day, we'll certainly get enough sunshine poking through to bring our temperature up into the mid to even upper 80s in some locations, and it will be a humid afternoon. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic now. Here's the scene first off. In Manatee County, little blip there on 14th Street West, the southbound lane as you wait for that long lighted Cortez. Otherwise, all clear. Farther south, here's the scene in northern Sarasota County. There we go. University Parkway, some congestion in both directions around Whitfield. Also 301, still a stubborn spot there northbound as you head through Newtown. And then our final map to the south will indicate no problems right now at 5:31 on your Election Day morning.
All right. Speaking of Election Day, that's what's on everyone's mind this morning. We've been covering voting numbers and where your polling location is for weeks now.
Polls open now in 90 minutes. So far, a record number of you have already voted. More on that from our Sarasota County Elections Supervisor, Ron Turner, who set his alarm early. You got a bit of a busy day today, don't you?
Just a little bit.
Yes.
So it's Election Day. You know, the polls will be opening at 7 a.m. We're open till 7 p.m. tonight. So encouraging voters who haven't voted yet, although 137,000 voters here in Sarasota County have already cast ballots. But if you're one of those that haven't, or you're a traditionalist and you like to go to your polls on Election Day, today is the day, if you haven't heard that yet.
I've heard that, yes.
And Ron, I know this ballot is really long this year, and during early voting, you had wait times on the website. Will there be wait times for this for today?
No, not today for
Okay.
our Election Day. You know, probably, typically, you know, kind of first thing in the morning, maybe around the lunchtime, and at the end of the day are probably the peak times for voters today. But again, the polls are open 12 hours today, so there should be plenty of time to get out there. And things have been moving smoothly. During early voting, we thought, because it was a 17-inch ballot with 18 countywide questions and 20 candidates, or 20 races on the ballot, that it would take a little longer to vote. But no, voters seem to be prepared, and that's one of the things they need to do. We mailed sample ballots in mid-October. If they don't have a sample ballot, they can get one from our website at SarasotaVotes, VOTES.com. And they can mark that sample ballot and take it with them into the voting booth, or you know, make a little cheat sheet reference guide for them, so when they go in, they're not reading that ballot for the first time. That does help expedite the process.
So you can bring in your own materials.
For personal use, as long as you're not soliciting anyone else in the voting booth. If it's for your own use, you can take materials in for yourself.
Now, talk more about, where are we going on this right now? I think your job reminds me of an airline pilot, where it's 99% boredom and 1% sheer terror.
Well, it's definitely kind of an adrenaline rush, and it's been a busy time now for months, because it takes a little bit longer, I think, than most people realize to do what we're doing. But I'll tell you about turnout. We've had a 43% turnout so far in this election, which that's amazing. Before we even opened the polls this morning, that's about 137,000 people. 79,000 vote-by-mail ballots have been returned and accepted to our office. 58,000 people voted at one of the in-person early voting sites. So today, you have to go to your polling location to vote. You don't go to the elections office. You don't go to one of the early voting sites. You go to your precinct and your polling location. If you're not sure where that's at, Each voter has a voter information card. If they don't have their voter information card, again, go to our website at sarasotavotes.com. On the home page, there's a precinct finder app. You put your address in, and it tells you exactly where you need to go vote on election day, because you have to vote where you live under Florida law, because we all get a little bit different ballot style. Your state rep may be different than my state rep. Your congressman, or may be different than mine. Those sorts of things.
Very good.
All right.
Talk to you again next hour.
Okay.
All right,
thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us, Ron. Polling locations will be open here on the Suncoast in less than 2 hours.
Marla Spence has a preview now live from the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex in Newtown. Marla?
Hey, Ray and Jess, yeah, today is the big day. Now, thousands across the Suncoast have already cast their ballots in early voting, while many and millions of Americans have already done so. Now, for those who did not vote early, they plan to do so this morning starting at 7 o'clock. Now, this time around for the midterm elections on this day is quite different than early voting. Now, here are some tips for you to make your voting process a little easier when you head out to the polls this morning. Now, instead of going to any location or early voting locations, voters are required to go to their assigned precinct. Now, you can find that information on your voter card, or you can reach out to the supervisor of elections office to find that information, something that Ron Turner just mentioned just a few moments ago. Now, also to make the process easy for you and also poll workers, bring an ID with you with your photo and signature, and also your voter ID. And then one last thing, if you have a vote by mail ballot, it's not too late to turn that in, but it is too late to mail it in, so you can drop it off at the supervisor of elections office today before polls close. Now, there are 99 polling locations in Sarasota County and 70 in Manatee County. And one more last tip, as Ron Turner did mention a few moments ago as well, is that you can bring a sample ballot with you to the polls to make your voting process a little easier. It'll be considered to be a cheat sheet. These were mailed out sometime in October. So to make the voting process a little easier, you can bring your sample ballot. You can reach out to the supervisor of elections office to get a sample ballot, or you can also write down a few notes and take them with you to the polls. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. There are several watch parties on the Suncoast tonight. Here are three. The Minnesota Black Chamber of Commerce hosting one at 6:30 at the 720 Club. The Sarasota Democratic Party hosting a watch party at Michael's on East at 7 p.m. And the Republican Party will be at the Hyatt Regency in Sarasota also at 7 p.m.
Voters here on the Suncoast will decide the fate of Sarasota County's Legacy Trail. The path is already more than 10 miles long, and now it's up to you to decide if it should expand north. Supporters say the extension would increase access to tourist attractions like Siesta Beach, Nathan Benderson Park, and Ed Smith Stadium, and it would place 27 schools within 1 mile of the trail. Voters will decide whether or not to expand it another 6 miles from Ashton Road to Payne Park, with overpasses above Clark and Bee Ridge roads.
It'll be a full park with amenities, stop stations, parking, and a multi-use path for recreational opportunities.
If you have a school that has access to a trail, kids and parents will use it.
While the trail could boost economic development, the investment comes with a price tag. The extension would cost $65 million, resulting in a millage increase of $16 a year for taxpayers with a $200,000 home.
On to other news now. In the wake of last Friday night's shooting in Tallahassee at a yoga studio, a Sarasota yoga location is making some changes now. Owners of Pineapple Yoga Studio in Burns Court now plan to start locking their door before yoga class begins each day. Robert Karachi, the co-owner, says it's a shame it's come to this, but he says they can't afford to put their clients at risk. He calls it a sad sign of the times.
What we've done now is we've instructed the yoga instructors to lock the door upon arriving at the class, making sure that they're vigilant around what's going on in the outside area in the courtyard.
He says they're also asking instructors to double check the area in front of the building before classes begin. He also expressed condolences for their counterparts in Tallahassee.
New details this morning about a deadly officer-involved shooting at a McDonald's parking lot Monday morning. Charlotte County deputies say George Smith was acting erratically and threatened to kill them at one point, aiming his rifle at them. Deputies got a tip about him from a witness who followed him down Tamiami Trail because of concerns that his bad driving was due to dementia.
When asked why he needed the police station, he said that he wanted them to shoot him or he was going to shoot us. He also made statements that he had just killed 3 people. That has not been founded at this time. We have not found where 3 people have been killed.
The case is still under investigation, and the 2 deputies who fired their weapons and killed Smith are on routine administrative leave.
New details this morning on the fire that destroyed 4 yachts and sailboats last week in Venice. The police chief says the fire in Roberts Bay was accidental and electrical in nature. It took 2 days to put out those fires. It began on 1 yacht and then spread to 3 other boats. They were also taken to a sandbar so the fires wouldn't reignite. Total damage could top $2 million.
A rare but serious polio-like illness called acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM, is sweeping the nation. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed 80 cases and are investigating 219. That's 8 more confirmed cases since last week and 20 additional patients under investigation. The illness affects an area of the spinal cord that can cause paralysis. Symptoms of AFM include loss of muscle tone, facial drooping, slurred speech, and difficulty swallowing. Almost all instances of AFM occur in children under 18 years old.
Get ready to start paying for parking in downtown Sarasota again. Monday, city commissioners approved a plan for Main Street and South Palm Avenue. The goal is to balance a projected $600,000 deficit in the parking division. So the plan would also extend parking regulations from Monday through Saturday, reduce free parking in the garages from 3 hours to 2 hours, commit to putting 5% of the parking meter revenue into enhancing the streets they are on, such as the sidewalks or the trees, and also to create a 5-person parking committee to help manage the adjustment. Well, supporters say it'll increase parking spot turnover, but opponents, including this Main Street business owner you're about to hear from, will also say it keeps customers away from downtown.
If construction is downtown, as we've had a lot of, they stay away. Parking meters, they definitely stayed away back in 2011. I think that they would do it again.
The city says the adjustment for the parking garage hours will start in January and parking meters will return in May of 2019.
A road closure will impact drivers in Venice tomorrow. The project includes the installation of new, larger water mains. City officials say the project will help improve the water distribution system and overall quality. This Wednesday from 8 until 4, Home Park Road will be closed from East Venice Avenue to Laurel Avenue. There will not be access to Home Park Road from Cypress Avenue or Laurel Avenue.
Still ahead, tiny homes are becoming more and more popular. We'll take a closer look after this break.
And now we're taking a live look outside at the city of Sarasota on this election day. For more on what the forecast will be when you head to the polls this morning or this afternoon, let's head over to meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, I've already voted, so I'm heading to the beach. It looks pretty good for us there, too, and at the polls as well. No issues whatsoever with weather. As we head to the beach, we'll find temperatures that'll climb into the 80s today. The UV index down a little bit thanks to the lower sun angles at this time of year, coming in at about a 6. Sun cloud mix. Now, for those who have interested in the red tide report, well, we're looking at still a few places along the coastline where you do have red tide being reported. In fact, most places are at least in the low category, some places in moderate. We'll have the complete forecast for you in just a few.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
Your child's classmate.
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Today at 9 on Suncoast View.
One of the Suncoast's favorite shows returns to the West Coast Black Theater. I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View, we preview Black Nativity with a live performance. Calusa Brewing talks about their International Beer Festival. We get a real estate market update in Suncoast for Sale, and we learn how you can help fill empty bowls in our kitchen.
Today at 9 on Suncoast View.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we've already established a southeasterly wind flow coming in at about 3, and that southeast wind is going to bring in the humidity once again this afternoon, giving us pretty warm feels-like temperatures up near the 90 mark. Even though our air temperature won't go quite that high, it'll still be closer to 90 than it will be to 80. So we're looking at another warm, very warm day for this time of year. A string of them, in fact, coming in well above average. 69 degrees the air temperature currently, same thing as the dew point, 69 degrees, 100% relative humidity. As we progress through the morning hours, we'll watch our temperatures climb up to about 83 degrees by lunchtime with a mix of sun and fair weather clouds. And as we head into the afternoon, our temperatures will probably top out at around 87. I'll go with 86 by about 3 p.m. No rain in the forecast currently. We're looking at quiet conditions there. I don't see much in the way of a rainfall chance today, except maybe in the northern tier you might see some scattered showers. That's the leftover cold front that has stalled out just to our north, and it's in the process of washing away. It's not coming back in this direction. In fact, we've probably got another 1 or 2 cold fronts to go before we actually get a little bit of a cool down occurring here. So there's an area of low pressure that's really wrapped up and producing the potential of some severe weather today in the mid-Atlantic. We don't get any of that rainfall. We don't even get any of that colder air. The front associated with that is basically going to stick in North Florida and stall out as its tail end kind of drapes across the border of Georgia and Florida. We'll see mostly sunny skies continuing throughout the day today with a mix of sun and fair weather clouds. The high, thin clouds will not block the sun, so we'll get a lot of sunshine coming through those clouds. But nevertheless, it will give the sky a kind of milky appearance. Warm and humid with that southeast wind or even southerly wind a little bit later on this afternoon. The feels-like temperature, as I mentioned, way up there near the 90-degree mark. Not summer-like, but certainly well above average for this time of year. But cooler this weekend. And then next week, I think we might be looking at fire pit weather at some point, probably toward the end of next work week. Temperatures could drop down for highs, perhaps in the mid-60s. Yeah, that cool. So we're looking at the futurecast here, and we're not seeing much more than just a little bit of cloud cover around. At times we'll see perfectly sunny sky. So it's going to be one of those kind of mixed bag days where you get some clouds that move through, then you get some sunshine, and all in all, I think on balance, we're going to call it mostly to partly sunny. A few scattered showers out in Gulf waters, that's likely. Maybe a few scattered showers over on the other coast and down to the south with the southeast wind might produce a few showers, but I don't see much for us. We're looking at the thunderstorm outlook today and the severe weather potential in this area in yellow right here along the mid-Atlantic coast, including the D.C. area, has a slight chance which is pretty significant. A slight chance of seeing some severe weather, mostly in the forms of large storms that produce hail, gusty winds, that sort of thing. Slight chance for tornadoes. Then as we head into tomorrow and the day after, that chance of any kind of severe weather goes way down. So the forecast for this afternoon calls for a southeast wind switching to the west with a sea breeze at about 5 knots. And the forecast in the couple of days ahead, 87 today, 88 tomorrow, 87 on Thursday. Then the front approaches, moves into North Florida, brings a chance of rain on Friday. Better chance of rain, I would think, on Saturday as the front sinks southward, stalls below us, and brings us some cooler weather for a couple of days. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Taking a look at first alert traffic now. There is an accident to report on Cortez Road. That's at the intersection of 26th Street. Beware of that. Doesn't appear to be causing any delays quite yet, but beware that there is an accident there. Other than that, your usual delays on US 301 and State Road 70. In Sarasota County, there's nothing major to report. Some slight slowdowns where US 41 and US 301 meet. Other than that, things are running smoothly. And in southern Sarasota County, there's absolutely nothing to report at 5:50 on your election day. Tiny homes are seen as an appealing solution to the nation's affordable housing crisis. They're already popular in big cities, but demand for the small dwellings is getting bigger everywhere. In today's Consumer Watch, Melissa Rainey has a closer look at what's driving up interest.
When it comes to housing, living small is big. Demand for tiny homes is getting bigger, with more than half of U.S. adults saying they would consider downsizing. That's according to a recent poll released by the National Association of Home Builders. A majority said they're at least willing to consider moving from a full-size home to one that's a mere 600 square feet. So what's driving up interest in living in less space? Builders of tiny homes say small dwellings allow you to have a smaller mortgage, save money, and use that cash to upgrade your living. However, not all generations feel the same way. While more than half of millennials and Gen Xers are open to the idea, the feeling is shared by only 45% of baby boomers and 29% of seniors. Potential interest doesn't only depend on age, but also location. Building codes and zoning laws in some cities make large-scale sales of the tiny homes harder. And if a home is on wheels, buyers may struggle to secure traditional financing. But changes are on the horizon. According to the National Association of Home Builders, a newly updated building code relaxes certain requirements for tiny homes, like the ceiling height and staircase specifications. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Melissa Rainey.
So I know we have some of these here in the area. Would you ever move into one?
Yeah, if I had to. I mean, it's just south of Stickney Point Road, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I saw Erica Jackson, our reporter, did a story on it, but I didn't see them.
I like John Scully's joke. He said, they're giving new meaning to downsizing.
Yeah, really. I would be down for the smaller mortgage. I don't know about the smaller living situation. It would be a little bit of an adjustment.
You can barely change your mind in there. Sorry.
Yeah.
5:52. We'll have the day's top news headlines after this.
Hi, I'm Greg Rouse. I'm 54 years old, and I lost 22 pounds in 26 days, and I'm sleeping a lot better now.
If you'd like to lose up to a pound a day of fat, call me now for your free, no obligation appointment.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience, that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
It's rainy season on the Suncoast. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When there's the potential for severe weather, you need to know fast. Trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather to get you the information you need right away. We focus on the storms that impact where you live, and we're committed to alerting you with important information as soon as we get it. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you. WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Hi, I'm Kay. I'm 77 years old. I've lost 65 pounds and 6 clothing sizes on Dr. D's program.
If you'd like to lose up to a pound a day of fat, call me now for your free, no obligation appointment.
Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
It is election day, but 5 million voters went to the polls so far in the state. That's about 43% in Sarasota County and 39% already voted in Manatee County. Polls close at 7 p.m.
Plus, parking meters are coming to downtown Sarasota, specifically on Main Street and Palm Avenue. City commissioners approved the decision during a meeting yesterday. Residents are expected to see these meters by May.
And a Sarasota yoga studio has increased security in the wake of last week's tragic shooting in Tallahassee. Pineapple Yoga in Burns Court plans to lock the doors during class. A man killed 2 women last Friday night in Tallahassee during a yoga class. Very sad story there.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I'm surprised to see local yoga studios responding, but
Sign of the times. More Election Day coverage next hour on Good Morning Suncoast.